What's up, guys? John here, back again with another movie review. Today we're taking a look at the 1980 Friday the 13th. Now, this is a major throwback, but we're basically going back through all of the originals. Basically, everything for me that started my craze for slasher films and horror in general. We're going through all the Friday the 13th we can, Nightmare on Elm Streets. We already did the Scream movies, and just doing the cult classics in my book, as well as some sporadic fun slashers here and there. But man, this movie, what a blast from the past! In all honesty, I can only imagine what it would have been like to be like a younger adult in the 80s to see this for the first time. I feel like it would have been pretty scary, honestly. It's a killer POV. Not too terrifying in that aspect, but it is still kind of creepy. A lot of the shots are very ominous, creepy music, very suspense driven. But you never get like direct killer moments until the very end of the movie. It's overall a cult classic in my book for horror. This is just an absolute classic. Does it stand the test of time? No, not really. It's not very scary. There's a little bit of suspense, but it's more of just like a fun, entertaining slasher movie that was one that kind of started it all. It's an oldie, but it's a goodie in my book. You got Kevin Bacon, you got Pamela playing Mrs. Voorhees, you got our main girl Alice there. The kills are creative, they're interesting. It's not a boring movie by any mean. There's decent character development along the route prior to them being murdered. Like it's your standard slasher. The only thing I would have done differently is have non POV kills or some POV and then killer shots with the actual killer with the killer in it, which in this is Mrs. Voorhees. But at the time, this was new. This was like a new craze. Like the POV was scary for people, but the shots are great. The cheesiness of the prosthetics and all that stuff is fun. It's cool. If you haven't seen this movie, it's worth a watch. Now, if you hate old movies, especially old horror movies, you will not like this because it feels like an old horror movie. But I like stuff like that. I enjoy this very classic throwbacky vibe. And it's great. It introduces Jason, which we have, 10, 12 movies with him? 13 movies? 12? Somewhere in there? Including the reboot. I love Jason. He's a great character, and this is what started it all. But yeah, I mean, let me know if you guys are a fan of this movie. It's definitely an oddball throwback movie. A lot of very interesting characters. A lot of that cheesy horror. But yeah, in my book, now out of 10, right? If I'm gonna rate this movie, it's kind of hard because in today's age, you can't rate it based on like today's scale. You have to rate it based on a throwback slasher movie, and as a throwback slasher movie, it fits all the characteristics: cool kills, cool camera, solid music. You have a decent final girl, I guess. She does her part to try to get away. She doesn't necessarily fight back much, just little bits here and there. 7.5 out of 10. I feel like that's fair. Maybe if I was older and I'd seen it back in the day, it would have gotten a higher rating. But to me, 7.5 out of 10 for a 1980 movie isn't that bad. You, I can't really push 8. Some of the other Friday the 13th I think are a bit more enjoyable and are going to be higher up on the scale. But when we get to those, we'll do that. 7.5 out of 10, would recommend. If you haven't gone through the Friday the 13th franchise before, I've watched through it. This will be my 4th run through, but it's been a while, and I've never done any reviews for these movies, so I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. Let me know what you guys thought down below. Like, comment, subscribe. What is your favorite scary movie? Like always, I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.